Hello friends, it is Alina Alive, back for another video, and I'm a holistic nutritionist that helps people find balance through lifestyle tips, wellness practices, and nutrition advice. And in this video, we are going to be doing a what I eat in a day that's plant-based and high protein. So let's get started. Alright guys, so I am finally responding to your many requests of doing a what I eat in a day video, but I wanted to preface this video with giving you a reason why I haven't done them that often. I don't know about you guys, maybe some of you are YouTubers who do similar videos, but I find it hard to do regular what I eat in a day because I make a lot of food usually in the beginning of the week, and then we eat similar things throughout said week. So I think what I'm going to be doing and what this kind of is some of the highlights from the month or from the last 1 or 2 weeks. That way you get good quality stuff, I guess. And I'm working on being more creative with my food, but I think both Chris and I are creatures of habit and we like what we like. And we usually shift things around in the beginning of a new season. So with that said, these 3 meals are going to be one breakfast, which is my favorite high protein smoothie that's really easy to make. A really quick curry dish, very nutrient dense, high protein, and my favorite tempeh tacos. So if you're curious about any of these, keep watching and let's get started with the smoothie. All right, so in my smoothie, I always start with my favorite fruit in the world, frozen mangoes, and frozen blueberries. Now both of these are organic and I usually get them from Trader Joe's. Next up is my protein powder. Now, Garden of Life, this protein powder is probably the best protein powder I've ever had that is plant-based and vegan. One of the reasons why is 1, it's not incredibly chalky. 2, I have literally seen a change in my digestion, like more regular bowel movements. I have noticed even just better digestion as a whole, and some of the biggest reasons why is because not only are all of these raw organic ingredients, but much of this plant-based protein comes from sprouted plants, which means that a lot of the protein and nutrients are way more bioavailable than the average beans, legumes, or peas. Next up in my smoothie, I add raw reserve. Now, what I love about raw reserve, it's from Amazing Grass and it's all organic, and it's basically just a blend of our chlorella, spirulina, E3 Live, AFA, barley grass, wheatgrass, and a bunch of other stuff. Now, I'm running out of this stuff, as you can see here, and I'm probably not gonna be getting it again because this stuff is literally $30, if not more, last time I checked, and it's 30 servings. Now there's a bunch of more affordable alternatives to this, but I love getting my microgreens in and getting blue-green algae in because they're so packed with minerals, they're so packed with vitamin K, with chlorophyll. There's so many trace minerals that we don't get enough of in our normal food. So I love the idea of adding in some powdered blue-green algae into anything that I can to get that in. Next up, I added my chia seeds for the fiber. The biggest reason why I love this is for the fiber. And as you can see, I put a handful of chia seeds in because of the fiber, but I also love that it's high in omega-3s and so many other awesome nutrients. Next up, I just add a bit of water and I just let it blend. Check out that smoothie when it comes out. It's glistening and it's so refreshing, and especially in the summertime. I know that frozen foods isn't the best, especially eating them like that, because our digestive tract likes room temperature things, because as in nature there's not really a lot of frozen things that we eat on a regular basis. But during the summertime, and especially when I want to pack in the nutrients and get something in really fast, this is a great go-to for me. So I was so afraid to make these because I've been wanting to get more into tempeh because, as you may or may not know, normal tofu can be a hormone disruptor because it has xenoestrogens in it. Now, I've done videos before where I dive into what xenoestrogens are, but essentially our body misinterprets them as actual estrogen, and as a result, we can have higher levels of said estrogen, or our body operates off of the idea or its belief that there is high estrogen, and it can cause a myriad of health conditions, including higher or raising our risk as women of breast cancer, among a bunch of others. So, especially for vegans, people who are trying to be plant-based, tempeh is a great alternative because it's essentially fermented soybeans, where that soy and those xenoestrogens are actually processed by bacteria through the fermentation process into high protein food that doesn't have them, which is so great, and there's good bacteria in it. So to start off for these tacos, I cut up my onions, I dice them up because I'm gonna saute them in with garlic, and then I add in my tempeh. Now the tempeh that I get is, I got this one from Sprouts, and it's organic, which is really important, of course vegan, non-GMO, and what I do is I put them in after the onions get translucent on the pan, and I just break it up until they're just small little bits, and then I add in my taco seasoning, and just like any other soy powder, it absorbs it really well. Next up is probably like the pretty unhealthy side of my favorite type of tacos, which is the fried corn tortillas that I grew up with, that it just makes them really crispy. And then as you can see, Chris is helping me. He's cutting up the cilantro and dicing up some onions and just making sure the sides are ready. And I feel like after we moved in, everybody was like, oh, does Chris help? And he totally helps all the time. He usually cuts up the sides if he isn't already just like helping with the food. And so yeah, here's like a fast forward of me doing the corn tortillas. And a great alternative to this is literally just heating them up in any way you'd like. So with all that, there is the chopped up cilantro, onion, salsa, and then I also grilled some bell peppers, and Chris is putting together some of the tacos. Tastes good.
Oh yeah.
All right, next up, I'm going to show you how I made this very delicious and quick curry over quinoa dish. So I start with red quinoa, and I get organic. Now I got both this one and the vegetable stock that I show you here through this organic brand that you can find. I found this at Food for Less. You can find this at Walmart. And I love vegetable stock in anything like my quinoa or my lentils because it adds so much flavor. So after rinsing off the quinoa, I put it into my rice cooker, and oh my gosh, you guys, rice cookers are so convenient, and I just discovered them really in this last year because this is Chris's. But I basically put in the quinoa and then twice as much vegetable stock, and that was it. Next up, I am making the curry. So this is freshly rinsed split lentils, and I'm sauteing them really quickly in the oil, and this is going to help bring out more of a nutty flavor before I add my vegetable stock for them to fully absorb it, and that way they get nice and soft before I add in the rest of my ingredients. So these are the red lentils that I got, and I just literally followed the instructions in the back because I was still getting to know how to make them. But split lentils are great because you get all the great nutrients, but they're split in half, so they take half the time to cook. So once they're fully absorbed, I added in some of my frozen veggies, which were cut broccoli, 3 types of peppers, and onion. And this is the part that makes cooking this way shorter. So what I like about frozen veggies in general, and the reason why I don't completely discount them because, oh, they're not fresh, is because one, a lot of times they're way more affordable, which you'd think would be counterintuitive because they go through a much more elaborate processing time. But with frozen produce, if you didn't already know this, what I love about it is that oftentimes they are cut when they're ripe and then they're immediately flash frozen. Whereas with fresh produce, a lot of times they're cut before they're ripe, so before they can get all of the nutrients that they can from the soil and the vines that they're connected to, and then they ripen on their way to the grocery store without being connected to that nutrient source. And so that's why I still enjoy and really like having frozen fruits and vegetables in my life and cooking them into my foods, and I don't feel as bad about it because I understand that the process that they go through actually can ensure that they have just a little bit more nutrients in them than the average fresh produce, if that makes sense. All right, so next up, I add in my chickpeas or garbanzo beans to the mix, and I love it because this combined with the red lentils, combined with the quinoa, makes just a great hearty, high fiber, high protein, plant-based meal. And then I add in my taki masala simmer sauce. So basically I add that in and then I heat it up, and I add in a bit of red peppers because I like packing in the heat anywhere I can. And then I just let it simmer, that way all the flavors marry together and they have a little flavor party. Now, just like Rachel Ray, meanwhile, the quinoa is ready from the rice cooker. And so I just fluff it up a little bit. And as you can see, I love rice cookers. It makes it so simple. And here I'm just tasting it. And when I tell you, it tastes so good with the vegetable stock, oh my gosh, and that's all I added. And so here is the taki masala simmer sauce, just simmering away with all the veggies. And now I just plate it up. Now this meal took, I wanna say a little under 30 minutes, somewhere between 30 and 20 minutes, and if not less than that. And it was just a really good go-to meal. And those are my 3 super simple, super fast, high protein and plant-based meals for my what I eat in a day. I hope that this video not only was entertaining, but informative, not just like, oh, what should I make, but why I make the things that I make. And if you like this video and if you like what I do on this channel, please support it and hit subscribe. And if you really want to support the channel, be sure to check out my new merch down below, where I have mugs and t-shirts that have the Alina Alive brand and our saying in it. And we have mugs like this one where it says, be gentle with yourself, like what I say at the end of every video, which is, life is about the journey and not the destination. So be gentle with yourself. All right, I will see you guys in the next one.